What's up, guys? My name is David Salz, and this is my first video blog ever. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing this for a while now. Um, I'll get to the reason later, but yeah, I've been thinking about doing this for a while. Wasn't too sure if I should, but now I feel like I should. Like, I definitely feel like I should now. One thing, in case you didn't read the description, I'll fill you in right now. My videos are, I call them shows, right? Shows that I'm naming the What is What show, right? Really simple, really easy to remember. The What is What show, right? Uh, so yeah, that's what I'm calling them. And what I'm going to be talking about in the What is What show, uh, it's going to be very controversial topics. I'll be talking about politics, politicians, Obama's presidency right now. Race, racism, what's happening in the LGBT community. I think that's what it is. LGBT. I think that's all. If I'm not saying it right or if I'm missing something, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend anyone. I just thought that's what it was. Uh, and if I'm wrong, please someone correct me. I'll look it up on my own also, just to correct myself. But oh, and revolution. I'll be talking about a lot about revolution, um, and other worldly issues. What's happening in third world countries, and that's what I'll be talking about. I'll be sharing, opinions, beliefs. I'll have other individuals on the show to talk with me about them, or debate with me about them, and also just not about that stuff, but just about critical thinking ideas, stuff to really get you thinking about stuff. So that's about it. Oh, one more thing before I get started into this thing. Um, I'm aware that individuals will disagree with me or think whatever I'm saying is bullshit. And to be honest, I don't know the difference anymore. But I'm fully aware that's going to happen. I can 100% guarantee, I can promise that people will be upset, mad, angry, whatever. Make stupid response videos or leave ugly comments. And I just have one thing to say to that. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not. So it won't hurt me. I won't care. Whatever. That's what you want to do. That's what you can do. Like I don't care. Um, like I said, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not looking for your friendship, your companionship. None of that. My aim is to empower and uplift myself and the youth in order to fight against institutionalized systems of oppression. That is my game. That's my goal. And even not just the youth, older people that may be even ignorant of what's going on in the world or what's truly going on in the world. In their homes, in their government, the place that they live in. That's my aim, to empower, inform, and enlighten. Uh, and I'm not saying that I know it all, and I'm not saying that every time I say something, it's going to be 100% correct or whatever, but it's going to be my opinion and my beliefs, and how I see things. Now, if you want to argue with me or whatever, I will not argue with you. I will ignore you because it's a waste of time. And to be honest, I'm not guaranteed any amount of time on this earth, so I'm going to make the most out of the time that I have now. But if you want a constructive discussion or debate about the topic, then I'm more than willing to talk to you. A discussion, the difference between those two. A discussion, you're not debating. That's one thing. Another difference. Constructive discussion is when you want me to clarify, didn't really understand fully, and want me to explain a little bit further. Wish that I would have touched on this thing about that certain subject, or enlighten me, think that I should know this as well about that one subject that I talked about in the video, I'll be more than happy to, talk with you, have a discussion with you on that, and, you know, that's constructive. Now, constructive debate is when the opposing parties don't not get along, but, have different beliefs and views on a certain subject. And I understand that, that's life. That's what happens. Some people, you're not going to meet everyone who's just going to agree with what, you say or believe. That'd be stupid. Um, what makes it constructive, though, is that if you come, if you initiate a conversation with me in a civilized manner, and, you're truly willing to have, a constructive debate, listen to what I have to say, then I'm all ears. I will full-heartedly listen to you, take in your opinion and your belief, and I will critically think about it and give you my response. None of that, you're a fucking idiot, whatever, like, whatever I say is right, you're wrong, you're just dumb, blah, blah, none of that. When shall I come to that, I'll just stop talking to you. Because then it's not constructive anymore, it's deconstructive, and at that point we're just going to be moving backwards and nothing's going to get done. So that's basically about sums it up what I'm going to be doing on my show or whatever. Yeah, so that sums it up. Now, the topic for today. The topic is not going to be like, a really, really hard one, whatever. Not going to be very long. But it is going to be a metaphor. I just want, you to critically think about some things that you really haven't thought about before, maybe, or that you've given thought to and really haven't gone past the surface level of, thinking about it. And the metaphor, okay, the Running Man. What is so significant about the dance, the Running Man? In case you don't know what that is, and I don't know how you don't, the Running Man. You're running in place, right? I'll give you a little bit of time. The question is, what is so significant about the dance Running Man? Alright. If you couldn't figure it out, I said it though. It is the fact that you are staying in place. You're not moving forward. As you're doing the dance, the Running Man, you're running in place. So, just staying there. Not progressing, not accelerating forward, none of that. Now, what if I was to say that that was a metaphor for most of our lives? We are not moving forward, although we think we are. What if I was to say that? Now, I don't want you to get offended and be like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? I'm moving forward with my life. I'm doing big things, I'm doing important stuff, yada, yada, yada. Right? I'm not saying that you're not, and I don't know you in order to pass that kind of judgment to say, oh, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, like, you're not doing shit with your life. You're just staying in one place. No, I'm not trying to say that, but indulge me and just hear me out. Most of us aren't moving forward with our lives. We are living hamster lives. We are hamsters running on a hamster wheel, round and round and round, and we're not going forward. So if we're the hamsters, what's the wheel? The wheel is our life. Who owns the wheel? We don't. We don't own our lives. You might think, the fuck? I own my life. Whatever. Like, I own my life. I do whatever I want to do. I don't do what I don't want to do. Fuck him. Right? And I'm sorry to say, that's not true. But if you're that rare exception of a person, you say, I do what I want to do, I do it. When I feel like doing something, I do it. When I don't do it. You know, if I want to get a tattoo, I'll get a tattoo, whatever. I commend you. I really do. Like, I admire you. You're a stronger person than I am. But especially for teenagers, you do not own your life. School owns your life. Homework owns your life. Clubs own your life. Committees, sports, social activities. That's what your life goes to. And you might be thinking, but all those things are my life. But are they really? How many times have you done something because you needed to? Or how many times have you done something because it was a requirement? Or, just to look good for a certain university that you want to get into? That you can give, like, really less than two shits about that. But you still do it. How many of you? A lot, right? Um, I'd have to say, unless that you really, sorry, backtrack. All those activities or whatever, all that time consuming stuff, doesn't really give you enough time to, sit down and truly introspect. And what introspection is when you think about oneself, right? To carefully and critically analyze one's own self, who you are as a person. What do what makes you tick? Like, how do you see things? Do you have a clear vision of who you are or not? And I can't see most teenagers just coming home, sitting down, and finding the time to do that. But unless it's something that is regular criteria that your teacher has to put you through in school. And most school, that's not the case. So that's one thing. That's one reason why I say that we don't own our lives. But even your parents, even adults, most adults work mediocre jobs that they fucking hate. That's where they end up sometimes. They have to sit through a fucking like 10-hour shift with coworkers that they can't stand, or working under bosses that are fucking dicks. Like, that's what most adults do because they didn't find something they love to do. They didn't have enough time as a kid to sit down and think about themselves and really what they really want in life, or they weren't allowed to go out and get that, to try and become what they loved or do what they loved. Like, not a lot of people have the opportunity. So, but they might think that, fool themselves into believing, well, since I get the money, I pay the bills, like, it's my life. I'm sorry, but it's not. Now, my next question. We're accelerating and running when we think we're moving forward. For argument's sake, if we were, what are we moving forwards to? Think about that. As a society, what are we moving forwards to? Don't say the future. The future, the answer doesn't count. Too much of a general answer. You know, not really critical. What are we moving forwards to? Now, I have two answers to that question. Both of them are ugly answers. Doesn't really paint a pretty picture. But I don't want to give my answers. I want you guys to think about it, critically think about it, come with answers here on your own, and you know, comment them or whatever. I want to hear what you have to say. So just think about that question. What are we moving forwards to? Now, technology. Technology is a beautiful thing, right? Like, technology, fucking great. Instant gratification. That is what technology provides for humans. Instant gratification. Fucking Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is the greatest thing ever invented. Like, who doesn't love fucking Wi-Fi? If you don't love Wi-Fi, I don't trust you. I don't. Sorry. Um, Technology. Even most of it is even aesthetically pleasing. The iPhone, for a piece of technology, the iPhone's a good looking piece of technology. Like, in all honesty, like the iPhone 5 especially, like a gold iPhone 5. Fucking beautiful, right? Technology's all great. No, I'm not so sure about that. Think about it. They told us as kids when we were young, think outside the box, be innovative, creative, think, right? Clever. But what did they do when they put everything that we ever think of, everything that we ever wanted, everything that we ever needed inside this little piece of metal? You know, what happens? Now, you may be thinking, well, think outside the box. Like the person that made this thought outside the box. Like, granted, he did. But what did it do? Like, let me explain. My world used to be broad. It used to be vast. Like, I would have a journal on my nightstand, like, fucking pencil and paper, like, on my desk. You know, things where I have to go get up and get them. Stuff. My world was vast. Like, outside. When we were small kids, it was incomprehensible how big, how vast the world was. So think about it. We didn't grow up with text messaging. Well, we did, but later on, we were teenagers, middle school. That's when we got it. But we were in elementary school. The cell phone. Okay, whatever. We didn't really have that shit. And if you did, you probably had one of those 3-button cell phones where you picked who you call and only had like 10 contacts in it. No texting, no keypad. Uh, but yeah, our world was vast. Like everything was so vast. And then they put everything into this little tiny piece of metal, whatever it is. You know, everything you could ever need except for food, water, shelter. Those 3 things. But entertainment, right here. You want to talk to somebody? Right here. You want to go on the internet? Right here. That's all you could ever need. Right here in this little piece of metal. And they did it in such a way that they sold us back our dreams and our ideas of and what we liked. They sold it back to us in such a blatant way that we didn't even know. We didn't even realize it, and we don't even realize it still. Everything that was us, that was our world, all they did was just put it in a little box and just sold it to us. That's it. And I say that because they call it borderless. They say we're reaching a borderless society, and I'm here to say that borderless doesn't even begin to describe America. Borderless is a fucking antonym for America. It's not a synonym. Borderless? No, we're not borderless at all. And the reason why I say that is because what's happening? What's happening when we use this? We're becoming mindless. Mindless, just in our phones all the time. Don't really stop to appreciate things. Caught up on social media, Twitter especially. I'm a huge Twitter person. Like, it's bad, I know. But Twitter, like, let's talk about Twitter for a second. 140 characters to tweet whatever the fuck you're doing at whatever fucking time. Everywhere, right? No limits. Well, there is a limit to how much you can tweet within a day. You can put in Twitter jail. But whatever, but really, no limits. That's actually kind of scary if you think about it. Oh, alright. Um, but yeah, no limit. So think about that for a little bit. Now, freedom of speech. How does freedom of speech play into all this? Well, firstly, if you think that freedom of speech doesn't come at a hefty price, you're wrong. Um, Especially if you're talking about the U.S. government in not such a savory light. Freedom of speech. The There's this new bill that's passing. Well, I'm not sure they've been trying to. I'm not sure if it's passed or not, but it's been lurking over our heads for the past 2 or 3 years. Called the U.S. Data Communications Bill, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what it's called. What it will do is, in case you know about this, it will allow the government to legally have access to every electronic conversation you ever had. Sorry, let me phrase that. Every communication that you ever had electronically. Sorry, it'll allow them to have access to that. Whatever you tweet, whatever you post on Twitter, whatever you post on Facebook, whatever you post on Tumblr, they will have access to that. And they can read that legally. Go through all your shit, right? And some people don't like it. Some people like it's invasion of privacy, you know, whatever. Other people are like, it might be acceptable, reasonable, but I don't like it, to be honest. I think it's an invasion of privacy. That's where our freedom of speech is impeded because you can't, you have freedom of speech except when you're threatening to cause bodily harm on someone. That's when it's illegal. That's when you cannot do that. And you can't be on an airplane and scream fire or bomb. It's illegal. It's freedom of speech, right? Like, and so, we get to arrive at this term, borderless society, but when we can't say what we really feel, how is it borderless? When we don't accept others because of their sexual preference, how is that borderless? When a certain group of individuals can't get equal rights or the same amount of pay as others, how is that borderless? When we don't allow certain group of individuals to come over, and acquire documentation and become U.S. citizens, but yet we recruit them and have them do illegal labor over here, but then send them back. How is that borderless? You get what I'm saying? Like, borderless is not a term to describe USA, America. That borderless is definitely not a term. Borderless is a joke. That's what borderless is, and it's just so hard to fathom because all this technology is really doing is making it easier to categorize things and putting ourselves into boxes, just boxes, you know. And once you put yourself into that category or box, and once another person has labeled you and put you into the category or box, when you do something excuse me, when you do something that your category or label, when you do something that doesn't fit under that, you're looked at wrong, and you're judged for that because they perceive you as this one thing, right? Just one thing, and you can't win for losing because you're supposed to be this, but if you want to do this, you do that, but it doesn't fit under your category or label. No, you get, people don't accept that. So that's why We think we're progressing forward, we're accelerating, but all we're really doing is staying in place. That's all we're really doing, especially with how we're using technology nowadays. And that's what all I really want to say. What, what are we accelerating towards? What? What type of society will we have in 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 215 years from now? What kind of society will we be? We don't know. Actually, 15 years from now, where will we be as a society, as a people? I don't know. If things keep going the way they are going, I know that it's going to get ugly. That's what I do know. And that's one thing. That's really it though. But if I've said anything that's, got you to critically think about things that you really wouldn't think about before, I employ all of you to please, in the next few months, years, to stop what you're doing, sit down, be quiet, and have yourself a very careful think. My name is David Salles, and I'm signing off for today. Thank you for watching. If you did, subscribe if you want some more. Like the video, dislike it. That's about it. Peace.